I heard that the power that made the body heals the body. Has anybody ever heard that? Who's got that on their shirt?
Hold on.
Where's she at? Okay. That's right.
Wait, I have it too.
Okay.
I want that.
Maybe
That's
somebody
it.
give you the shirt off the back.
So the power that made the body heals the body, and what we want to do is get this into our physiology, right? We want it to become part of us. We don't want it to be words. So then we're going to stand up a minute. Now, wiggle your toes. Are they wiggling?
They're wiggling. Oh, they're wiggling.
So we're going to say the power that made the body heals the body, but we're going to say it from our toes. You know, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it all the way down, and we're going to let that come up. And as we come up, the power that made the body heals the body. We're going to put our hands out like that, and then lightning's going to come out of our fingertips, right? Because that's a power. You know, literally, you can create whatever you want if you take your thoughts, put them in your physiology, and you create your world. Right. Quantum physics, right? That's all it is. And that's what you can do. Okay? So, the count of 3. 1, we'll say the power made the body. And then, whoo. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. The power that made the body heals the body. Okay, that was a warm-up, wasn't it? Yeah. It's like, yeah, we want to animate it. I want you to be grinding coffee as you do it, okay? If you have somebody around you that needs a little extra, well, then you give them a little extra so they'll start moving, you know? Okay? So on the count of 3 again. Now, literally shake the roof off. Lightning going up on those fingertips. 1, 2, 3. The and it doesn't happen any other way. There was a question about tonight, what is Spizz? So, yeah, Spizz. Spizz, this comes from B.J. Palmer, Spizzerinctum. One who's excited about the tick in chiropractic, the innate in chiropractic. And so that to me is what we want to do tonight, is get some excitement going about the tick, the tick, right. The tick. Now, interesting enough, what's the major premise?
Intelligence in all matter. Continually gives to it. You go ahead.
Go ahead, continually gives to
all its properties in action, thus maintaining it in existence.
Okay. So can somebody say this in a continuous phrase? This is a safe haven. It won't be on a national board exam or anything else. So you can say it. There's no spies in here saying, you know what they just said? They said something about the major premises. So this is safe haven, okay? Give me, what is the major premise?
The universal intelligence is in all matter, and it gives to all its properties and actions continually, and it maintains everything in existence.
Okay.
Sort of, kind of right.
For the sake of continuity, listen. The major premise is universal intelligence exists in all matter, continually giving to it all its properties and actions, thus maintain it in existence. Okay, we got those words? Yes. We're going to say the words. Now when we say the words, we want to feel in our physiology again those words. You know, we said tonight is to be a life is choice. We make choices along the way. See, how involved do you want to get? How involved would you like your life to be? How involved would you like to start creating a new world for yourself? Now, I want you to feel in your physiology the major premise now. Universal intelligence, everybody say it, universal intelligence exists in all matter, and continually gives to it all its properties and actions, thus maintain it in existence. Now, did you feel it in your physiology when you said it? Or were you just trying to say it right now? Okay. Well, let's do this. Put your hands on your lap. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to forcibly, within yourself, say, and push it down into all of your physiology, universal intelligence exists in all matter.
Universal intelligence exists in all matter.
And continually gives to it all its properties and actions for existence. Okay. You all said that? You put it in your physiology? How does that make you feel when you hear that statement?
Awesome.
Awesome. Powerful. Because the key word is used twice, all. All the properties and actions exist in all. All. What you are made out of is God. That's what it says, right? Because all there is universal intelligence, and everything is made from that. That's our major premise in chiropractic. That's powerful when you start to realize what you have within yourself, and you negate yourself. How many times do you negate the power that you have about creating a world that you want? Choices. How powerful are you when you get to decide the thoughts that you're going to think to put out in the world? How powerful are you when you have an exam and the thoughts you think about when you take the exam? How powerful are you when you put the thoughts out that have a baby, how it's going to come out perfectly according to your thought, because you put it out, I have all this within me and I can put it out into the quantum field and literally create from my mind what I believe out into the world.
Amen.
You see, the brain has got beliefs. That's just stuff between your ears. I can choose to put a belief that supports me. And when I realize that the power of the universe lies within me, and I can express it out into a world, the world's different. My world's different. See? Now if I said to you, you make a difference. You make a difference. You make a difference. Do you realize everybody makes a difference? But there's choice of the difference you make. Just being here on the planet means you'll make a difference. But what you do with what you do on the planet is all the difference in the world. And that's choice. When you go down the street and you hear somebody says they have some kind of problem, and you happen to mention chiropractic, that was a choice that you decided to say something, to put it out into ether, to maybe change their world. Choices all along the way. Maybe in the past, some of you, or maybe all of us at different times, gave license to ourselves to another person, and they made choices for us. But then yet that was a choice I made. I allow someone to make the choice for me. It becomes very responsible to me to start to use resourceful choices along the way. Where do you want to go? See, to me, it's like, let's continually keep thinking of the major premise, the major premise, the major premise, the major premise. I'm made out of quality, all the qualities of God. I'm made out of all the stuff of universal intelligence, all within me. And it's a tenet of every religion, says the same thing, that God is all-knowing, all-powerful, exists everywhere. And we say all these things, but we don't have it in our physiology. We don't hold a belief up here about it. We just say words. So in chiropractic, when you start to recognize when a patient comes in or you see someone and you see them and you say, there's a power that's animating this world right now. There's a power. And if that power is interfered in any way, shape, or form, there's less than expressing. BJ used to have a thing years ago. It said, one cause, one correction, one cure. Very few people understand what that was. You know what the one cause was? The primordial cause of all things, universal intelligence. That's the cause of everything. There's only but one cure, and that's universal intelligence. It's through innate in your body. And there's only but one cure. It's a correction of that expression. So that expression of the God within you, that innate within you expresses into your physiology. And that's one cause, one correction, one cure. Because everything you do in chiropractic from now on comes from the point of view there is some superior intelligence that's flowing through us and expressing through us. So it behooves us to be responsible for the thoughts that we think. It behooves us to say, you know what, who am I daring to belittle the power of the universe that I have within myself? And negate that. See, there's a thing is life was never meant to be a struggle. How many people do you know they struggle through life? If you're literally creating your world, how can there be a struggle? You are creating your world. You create it. And it's filtered through a belief system. And as Joseph Spizz said, if you have a belief system that doesn't support you, create a new system. All it is a dendrite pattern up here. Because what is a belief but a thought that you play over and over and over and over and over and over in your head until all of a sudden it's a belief. And then you create. So if you don't like the end result of what you're getting, you change your dendrite pattern. You change your thinking. And you play a new tune over and over and over until all of a sudden it's a belief. Yeah. So the theme that everybody's going to be talking about is choice, the choices we make. And so we'll have Dr. Mike come up next. He's going to share his wisdom with us. He drove all the way from Alabama. I always find it interesting, and people that locally says, it's really a big effort to come out. And I'm a student, you know how busy I am. You know, chiropractors aren't busy. They just sit around all day. They have nothing else to do, so I just hope there's a meeting I can come to and start talking or something. That's kind of like the thought. But Dr. Mike drove 2.5 hours just to be here. He's been coming to all the Spizz nights, you know. Coming to Spizz nights. So, you know, why does he have to come to Spizz nights?
Keep going.
That's right. That's my life. Someone said to me at Life Forces, what's your hobby? I says, this is my hobby. What's your life? This is my life. My life is my hobby is my life.
That's right.
So, without any further ado, Dr. Mike, give it to us.
I don't need
No, you just need because it goes on up.
Oh, because it's recording?
Yeah.
Okay,
You just
sorry.
clip it on you.
Okay, anywhere? The power that made the body. Let's do that again. Power that made the body. You know, I've been in practice 34 years. I do orientations, 25,000 new patients, I guess, in that period of time. Every one of them is going to hear this story, okay? The story is that D.D. Palmer said that everybody's got a brain and a spinal cord and nerve roots that go out to every single cell in your body, right? Every organ, every muscle, and every cell has to have nerve supply. If that nerve supply is not getting there, it's not going to function in a normal and healthy way. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when Dee Dee's talking about this, he said, we've got to make sure that the spine is clear so that the body can do what it's supposed to do. He said if you have a healthy spine, you can have a healthy body. If you don't have a healthy spine, you can't have a healthy body. I'm going to get jacked up. I promised Leslie that I'd stay focused tonight, but help me, BJ, help me, man. I got my notes right here. But you know, it's so funny, I've done it, I don't know, I've probably done this 25,000 times. I don't know if I've ever been this jacked up, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you know, Dee Dee was pretty amazing, but then, you know, everybody, you know, is it true or is it false? Okay, do you believe it or not? You know, and then Henry Windsor comes along, Ted Korn. Anybody know Ted Korn, who Ted Korn was? Some of us older ones do. Well, Ted did a brochure, it was called The Windsor Autopsies. There was a guy named Henry Windsor, and he was a MD in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was trying to prove this to be a fallacy, and it backfired on him. And what he did was he said, I'm going to do 100 autopsies. He found 200 organs that were diseased. His conclusion was there was 100% correlation between the diseased organs that he found and a misalignment in the spine, exactly where the nerve supply came from. So if he found a heart and a lung condition, they had a thoracic problem. If he found a stomach or a colon problem, they had a low back problem. So what did Henry Windsor do for us? He proved Dee was right on, didn't he? You know, Dee was right, and Dee was right all along for that 35 years or so. He was telling people that the body, you have to function, the body has to function in a normal and healthy way. And that's the beautiful part about it is. So if the spine, again, if the spine's doing what it's supposed to do, the body gets a chance to do what it's supposed to do. So as we talk about that and we think about that, you know, River told me the other day, he said, I want to talk about choices, you know. And actually when we talk about choices, what we have to think about is that we actually, I was reading something the other day that says we have 30,000 decisions in it every single day.
Who has a Toyota with a Florida license plate? Can you move that, because that's on the other side of the road, and it's making it very difficult for people to get by and they're beeping out.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's
No
the only,
problem.
that was the only vehicle. All right.
No problem. So, you know, the basic concept is that, you know, we make 30,000 choices every single day, okay? Most of them are very small choices, but we make 30,000 choices every single day of our lives. And the thing is, you're going to either make a choice that's going to build you up, or you're going to make a choice that's going to tear you down, right? And that's what we have to be thinking about as we go through this whole process of life, is what are we doing and how are we doing that? So, you know, we talked all about this. Does everybody in this room believe that that's true? What Dee said, what Henry Windsor proved? Everybody in here, raise your hand if you believe it, okay? So that's important because there's going to be a quiz on this. You know, I'm going to quiz you in a minute here. Because, you know, let me ask you a question. When you're already a chiropractor, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was thinking.
No, not a chiropractor. Second quarter,
Second quarter.
Second quarter.
So when will you be a chiropractor?
2025.
Okay. When will you be a chiropractor?
2020.
When are you going to be a chiropractor?
2026.
2026. Do you hear what everybody's saying? Let me tell you something about being a chiropractor. You were a chiropractor the minute you decided to be a chiropractor. Okay? That's when you became a chiropractor, okay? You know, you didn't have to walk in the door down there. You didn't have to go to orientation. When you made that conscious choice in your head, I want to do this. I want to be a chiropractor. That's when you became a chiropractor, and you got to remember that. So I'm hoping and praying that when you look in the mirror from here on out, that you're already a chiropractor, and that's what your job is. Your job is to tell this story. Does that make sense? You've got to tell that message, and you've got to tell that story. So, you know, the thing that we were talking about the other day was, you know, we talk about, you know, telling strangers and telling people, you know, how many in here today, how many in this room, chiropractors, you know, we're all chiropractors. How many in this room today told a stranger that you were a chiropractor?
I gave out a card today.
BJ gave out a card today. 3, 4, 5, there's probably 40 some people. I know the Briegels did, okay? We'll talk about the Briegels in a minute. They're amazing, okay? They're amazing.
Save your breath.
No. I'm going to tell you about the Briegels right now. I'm going to change my track right now. I'm going to talk about the Briegels right now. When did you guys graduate? I'm sorry, Les. I'm getting
April
80.
82.
82. I know I'm getting out. You know, Austin knows his mother, and if she starts whispering, be careful, be careful. You might hear that, because I tell her, if I can hear it, they can hear it. So anyway, but in 80 and 82, okay, I graduated in 87. I'm going to tell you something. In the 80s, they were my mentors. They were my heroes. Yeah, I'm in school, and these guys were doing it. How long has this been now? 40 years? Okay. They're still doing it. You guys are doing peaks, right? How many peaks you have in your office right now? 3. What's PEAK stand for? Who can tell me? What's PEEK stand for? Nobody even knows what the hell it is? Performance, something. I'm going to tell you what I thought. This is what I think PEAK stands for.
Excellence, art, and knowledge.
Thank you. Here's what my PEAK stands for. Here's what my PEAK stands for. You have permission to tell everybody, and I mean everybody, what you know about the power that made the body. Okay? So from now on, that's what PEAK stands for. Tell everybody, and you have my permission. And when you go to work for those guys, go up there and rock their practice. Rock their practice, right? We talked about that the other day. Every time I get with this girl, she's talking about how she's going to rock it out there, and she is going to rock it out there. Okay? You know, you know what? 30% of the people are under chiropractic care or know about chiropractic. 70%, 7 out of 10 people don't know a thing about who we are, what we do. Okay? And I just said, tell me in this room how many people said they were a chiropractor today, and 4 or 5 people raised their hand. Is this the elite group? Would you say this is the elite group, River? BJ, is this pretty much, you teach them, is this pretty much the elite group? If the elite group is not out there telling people about chiropractor, then who the hell is? It's not those ones that are over at school worrying about micro and organic and, you know, and motion, what do you call motion pal? What's the nickname you call it now? Mopal 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. How the hell many you got now? I don't even know what it is, okay? All I can tell you is if you move this damn bone up here called Alice, the power will get turned on and the body will do amazing things, okay? I don't care how you move it. I mean, you know what, is there 64 technique clubs on campus now? Like, somebody told me the other day, we have 64 clubs on campus. And I heard, somebody's like, oh, God, Dr. Mike, I've only been to 15. I didn't know there was 64. I've only visited 15. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what you need to be doing? You need to be taking some cards, make some cards. Do you have business cards? They give you business cards? Take some cards. How you doing? You know, I'm Dr. Mike. I'm right around the corner. I have an office right around the corner. You ever been to a chiropractor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, 7 out of 10 people are going to tell you no. Never been to a chiropractor. Wow. You know, chiropractic's amazing. It's a safe, healthy, free way, drug-free way to get to health. You know, give me a call if I can help you. Okay. Your baby was coughing. I'm in the line at Winn-Dixie, Publix, whatever. You know, I just heard your baby coughing, and I just wanted to tell you, there's a safe and healthy drug-free way to help that child. Have you ever thought of chiropractic? You ever been to a chiropractor?
No.
No, you never thought about it?
Never thought about it.
Please call me. I would love to help that baby. See how easy it is? You know? I went up to a guy the other day and I said, do I recognize you? Do I know you? No. He said, no, I just moved here. And I said, oh, wow, you looked familiar. Well, I'm Dr. Mike. I'm the chiropractor right around the corner. And you know what he said to me? You know what he said to me? I've been looking for a chiropractor.
That's right.
I said, oh my God, man, I'm right around the corner. 2 days later, he called and made an appointment.
Woo!
Now, how hard is that? How hard was that? You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, how am I going to do that? What am I going to say to them? That's all you got to say to them. Hand them a card, tell them hello, whatever. I noticed you were coughing. I noticed you were limping. I noticed you're on a cane. I noticed you, you know, whatever, okay? Everybody do you go eat? Do you eat lunch? Yeah, you eat lunch. Does everybody where you eat lunch know you're a chiropractor? Do they know I'm a chiropractor where we live? Yeah. Everywhere I go, they know I'm the chiropractor. And I'm not a chiropractor, I'm the chiropractor in my town. Okay? There's 8 others, but I'm the chiropractor in town, okay? You know, they should be coming to me. They should be coming and seeing me. You know, and that's the thing about it is, you know, let me ask you another question. Now I'm going to really get deep, okay? How many in here have a patient in the clinic right now? How many in here have a patient actively getting treated in the clinic? You guys do? Okay, you do? Wonderful. Okay. I think there was 3 or 4 hands. Okay. A little bit less than what we had when we asked about whether you talked about it. But I'm going to tell you something. When I came down here, when I came down to Atlanta, I have an economics degree from Penn State. I was selling life insurance with Prudential. And when I got here, I went out one day. I knew what snow looked like on a car. I went out one day and my car was completely covered in yellow. Okay. I thought it was really cute that I could write my name in it. Okay. It was real cute for about 2 weeks, and then boom, a bomb went off in my head. I had vertigo and dizziness and sinus and headaches. I couldn't even function. I thought I was going to lose my job because my area that I worked was down around Georgia Tech, the connector, you know. I would look one way and I would look back, and I know they weren't changing lanes, but it sure looked like they were. You know, the cars were going everywhere, okay? And I honestly, I didn't know what to do. I was trying all the drugs. Nothing was helping me. Nothing was working. And a friend of mine says, you need to go see my chiropractor. And I said, what the hell's a chiropractor going to do for me? You know, I got a sinus and allergy and headaches and vertigo, okay? He said, come with me. Dr. Larry Jack, Roswell, Georgia. You guys know him, okay? I went in there, he took an x-ray of my neck. He said, you have a total reverse curve. This curve right here, instead of going this way, was going right back towards my spinal cord. C1 and C2 were rotated, and he said, your brain can't get a message to the glands that control your eyes, ears, nose, and throat. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, I'm 29 years old, time out. I never had this problem in my life. He said, you've never experienced pollen like this in your life. You know what? People can be doing good until they're not, right? People do good until they're not, and that's the key to this whole thing. You just never know, and that's why you give everybody a card. That's why you tell every single person. You have permission to tell everybody about what you know about chiropractic, okay? Because you just have no idea when they're going to need you, okay? And they need you, I promise you, okay? The medical profession is failing, guys. They are failing. There's there's students in chiropractic school right now that have parents that are medical doctors. The medical doctors are telling their kids, don't go into medicine. My friend's a surgeon, and he said, I don't want my kids to be a surgeon. They know they're dying on the vine. You know, they're going to get out. Our generation will probably get out. They made a lot of money, and they're going to get out. They don't want their kids to be medical doctors, okay? I want my kids to be chiropractors. You know what I'm saying? Third quarter, I got one sitting right here, okay? I want my kids to be chiropractors. I want your kids to be chiropractors. I want everybody to be a chiropractor, okay? I was on the phone today with Crystal Burnett. Last night we were at a soccer game, and this kid that's in our town, his mother's a chiropractor. And he was just bumbling around. Last time I saw him, he was packing groceries at Publix. And he came up to us last night. It was such a God moment. Tyler came up to us last night, and we looked at him, and he was a soccer goalkeeper. He played at the high school where we were at last night. And I said, man, do you miss it? You know, da-da-da-da. And then, man, I just went, when are you going to do this? When are you going to figure it out and be a chiropractor? He goes, you know, that's why I came over here to talk to you guys. You know, I think I'm going to do that, okay? And today it all happened. Crystal's got his number. He's got her number. We're going to get a special visit. He's going to probably be here in July, okay? So, but he went home, and I said, did you tell your mother? And he said, yeah, I told my mother last night I was going to do this. I said, was she smiling? And he said, yeah, she was smiling. And she said, if Mike and Leslie can get it done, let them get it done for you, okay? Well, let me tell you something. We'll get it done. We're going to get it done, okay? I'm going to bring more people to this school. We're so fired up about Life Force right now. This is the most fun I've had in 34 years. I can't wait to come to the weekends. I can't wait to come over here and have fun with y'all and do the stuff that we're doing. You know, so you know, like we talked about, if you don't have a patient in the clinic right now, then really shame on you, because it's not about you. It's not about us. It's about them, okay? And right now, you don't have an office, so that's the office that you have. So get them over there. When I was doing that life insurance thing, when I realized, when I made the move and I thought, I'm going to do this. By the way, I decided I'd never taken a science class in my, if I had a science, and if I had an instructor that wanted me to take a science class when I was at Penn State, I'd fire the counselor. I mean, there was business people and science people, right? You don't mix those two. Well, it worked out pretty well when I mixed them, because I knew how to run a business, okay? And it's been really, really good for 34 years. But the thing is, you know, when we talk about all that, I would go out and I'd be selling life insurance, and if they bought or didn't buy, it didn't really matter to me, because I'd start talking about chiropractic, just like I did you. You ever been to a chiropractic? You know anything about chiropractic? Okay. Well, I noticed your kid's been coughing the whole time I've been here, okay? They can fix that, you know? And I would get them, I'd introduce them to somebody, okay? What do you think happened to me when I got into clinic? I had a lot of patience, thank you. Isn't that amazing how the universe works? You give and you'll get back. Tenfold, hundredfold, it's biblical. You don't get until you give. So give and give and give and give, and find out God will pay you back. I mean, hundredfold you'll get it back. And that's really the important thing about that. So, you know, when BJ says, we never know how far-reaching what we think, say, and do will influence people in the future. Millions, he says, okay? We don't know, but we've got to say it. Do you know what I'm saying? Why would we be shy about that? Why would we be nervous about that? You know, I hear people say, oh my God, I'm getting ready to be done, you know. I couldn't wait to be done. I couldn't wait to be done. I couldn't wait to tell people about chiropractic and actually make money doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is it not the coolest thing in the whole wide world that we get paid to do what we do? You know, it's crazy. I mean, it's really, really crazy, but we do, and they pay us really, really well. You know, I was at Life Force last weekend. There was a guy up there scared to death, right? Who was at Life Force? Who heard the talks the other day? A lot of you were in that room. He called it friendly fear, okay? Friendly fear, and I thought, wow, that is so cool. Do you remember what he said friendly fear was? Friendly fear is when innate is pushing you really, really hard and your brain is screaming, ah! Don't make me do that. You know what I'm saying? Please don't make me talk to somebody. Please don't make me talk to a stranger, right? But innate is saying, you got to do it. You got to do it. you got to tell them about chiropractic, right? You got to tell them that the power that made the body can heal the body, and if I can remove that interference, everything can happen. I tell my staff all the time, it doesn't matter what's going on. They get phone calls all the time. Can you help with indigestion? Can you help with reflux? Can you help with stomach problems? Everything. The chiropractors in the room will tell you people come with neck pain and back pain, right? That's why they come to us, okay? And then about 2 weeks into care, they'll say, is this going to help me sleep better? Because I'm sleeping really, really good right now. Will this help me go to the bathroom on a regular basis? Because I'm really doing that, okay? When they brought the baby to me the other day, and the baby hadn't gone to the bathroom in 8 days. 8. Think about that for a minute. Don't go to the bathroom for 8 days. You'd be screaming at the top of your lungs. That's what that baby was doing, okay? One chiropractic adjustment. Went home, called her about 5 or 6 o'clock that night. How are things going? Same, okay? All right, bring him back in the morning, okay? That morning about 5:30, I get a text. Filled up 2 diapers in the night. No problems, baby's fine. That's this right here, right? This is what we're talking about. The power that made the body can heal the body. So really, I'm going to kind of end because, I got to get out of here. But we don't choose chiropractic. Chiropractic really does choose us. I really, truly believe that. And that's, cliche, whatever, blah, But really, we're chosen. We're a chosen group of people, okay? And did you ever watch that movie? It was called Miracles on Ice, okay? And it's an old movie. I think it was 81, and they did a redo in like 2000 where Kurt Russell became Herb Brooks. He was the coach, okay? Do you remember in the one scene where anybody play basketball where the coach got pissed off at you and you had to do suicides till you dropped, Remember you used to do them till you threw up? You were allowed to do that back in our day. Now DHR would show up and your parents would show up and everybody would be all pissed off. But the whole thing is we were pushed to make us better, weren't we? That coach didn't do that to be mad at us. He pushed it. He did that because he wanted us better. Well, he's blowing the whistle and they want to shut the place down. The guy on the, Zimbuzi? Or, yeah, he's saying we got to shut it down. We got to turn the lights off. He says you can turn the lights off, but we're not done, right? And he keeps blowing the whistle and he makes them skate and he blows the whistle and then he says, who are you and where are you from? And they'd say, I'm blah, blah, blah from Harvard. Where are you from? I'm so-and-so from Yale. And finally, Mike Rizzioni says, I'm Mike Rizzioni, and I'm a part of the United States hockey team. Thank you, gentlemen. And he let the lights come back on, and he let them go home. Okay? That's what it's all about. He took a bunch of misfits. When they gave him the list of all the elite, the best of the best in the country, he said, if we play like the Russians play, we will lose again. They won every gold medal for 15 years. We will lose again if we try to play them at their game. I want a bunch of misfits that I can mold, and we'll be faster, we'll be more physical, and he got a gold medal by doing that, all right? I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a room full of misfits, right? There's as many whys in this room as there's people in this room. You all have your own why. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What are you doing? All I'm going to ask you to do is when you look in the mirror from here on out, that you choose to see yourself differently. You choose to see yourself as a person that wants to tell people the power that made the body will heal the body, and it works every single time. It never fails. God, I used to love, and I don't have keys right now, but I used to love the sound of Sid dropping those keys and hitting that damn microphone. Boom. Boom. Here's what Sid would do. Boom. He had that damn microphone thing, and he stood there, and everybody would laugh at him. Man, I'd get goosebumps. It was like boom, boom. You remember it? You hear it, and you remember it. You guys can hear it, can't you? And he would drop it all the time. People, what's he doing? He's such a crazy man. No, he wasn't crazy at all. What he was saying was, gravity will never fail you. If I let go of these keys, they're going to drop every single time. It will never fail you. I promise you that this will never, ever fail you, okay? I'm going to tell you something. We have been given a very sacred gift, okay? This is a very, very sacred gift. This story is the biggest story on planet Earth. And if you're not sharing it, if you're not doing it, if you're not telling everybody that sees you and knows you about chiropractic, shame on you. Because this is the job that we have. It's easy to adjust and all the damn techniques. That's easy. There's nothing to it, okay? The hard part is saying, hey, I'm a chiropractor and you need me. You need chiropractic.
That's
You need this. You need to have your power turned on so that you can make a difference in this world. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
See, when all else fails, just talk about chiropractic and you're a winner. They said, what a great speaker you are. He says, if I was talking about plumbing, it wouldn't have come out the same way. I got a good story, you know, and it's absolutely fantastic. And it keeps you going all the time. We need to do a couple things here. First off, I need to, don't take this out of your mind just because you can't see it right now. Okay. I'm going to pass this around. If you registered and had a ticket, take the yellow marker and mark your name on the one sheet. If you didn't have a ticket, then put your name in and email address and write it in, okay? So I want to keep track of what's going on. We'll do it this way too, same thing. Yellow marker if your name's already in there. And the other thing is everybody needs a ticket. So we're going to pass this around. You take a ticket and keep one part of the ticket, the other part you dump into the hat. Okay? You got that? Everything's clear? Not a big, we got that, okay? This is really a slick crowd. Does anybody have a dog? Well, this works more for a dog. This is a dog's bone, you know, and you don't take the dog's bone away from you because he'll snap at you. And the only way he won't snap at you is you discipline him enough and beat him enough times that you have now control over him, because his instinct is to snap at you when you want to take away his bone. See? What is your bone in life? What's your dream? What has meaning to you that nobody's taking it away from you? And you'd snap at them. You're not taking my dream. Are you anchored into a dream enough that you can stay focused and you can stay committed? Because that's what the bone represents. What is that? What in your life? And see, to me, we have too many people that are willing to give up on their dreams. Why? Now, we talked about this as your bone in life and a dream. I'm going to do another thing. Everybody needs a kernel of corn. So we'll pass that around. I'll get mine. So everybody get a kernel of corn. You didn't realize you'd have all this homework to do, did you? I got to sign my name, got to mark it off, got to do all these things. Can you make corn grow? But it does grow, doesn't it? What's the most you can do to a kernel of corn to have it grow? Plant it? Water it? Give it sunlight. You got to feed it. Got to weed it. Got to nurture it. But the magic in the corn makes it grow. And can you find the magic in there if you took a hammer and broke it? Can you imagine the magic that's in this kernel of corn, what it does when you plant it? How do you feed your dream? Because this represents your dream. How do you feed your dream? Coming to programs like this, right? How about the people you associate with? You think they can help you feed your dream to support you and where you want to go? Huh? Do you think sometimes along the way you have to weed it? Get the weeds out of there? What are the weeds in your life that interfere with the growth of your corn? People?
Negative people.
Negative people?
Negative thoughts.
Negative thoughts?
Poor choices.
The media? Does the media feed you any good stuff to make your corn grow? You know, it's really interesting is like the media the way it is going today, I'm finding it's really making my corn grow really good. When we were at Life Force this past weekend, one of the chiropractors says, how many chiropractors are busier today than they were 3 years ago? And everybody's raising their hand. Well, it's making your corn grow. They're the fertilizer. So the world out there that's giving you the shit is feeding your dream. And we're moving forward. We're moving forward. Feeding our dream, okay? So, if I take this kernel of corn, and if I feed it, nurture it, water it, cultivate it, weed it, it will grow to be this tall. It'll have 2 ears on it, each with 360 kernels of corn. Pretty phenomenal. That's magic in there. That same magic works in your life. How guarded are you about the dream? Who do you study with when you're in school? What's your thoughts you think about when you're taking an exam or before taking an exam? This happens a lot of time when we have a national board and we're doing a Spizz night, and someone says, I can't come to Spizz because I'm cramming for the national board. Well, if you didn't study 3 months ago for your national board, you're not going to get it tonight, I can tell you that. It's not happening tonight. It's a process that you've been feeding yourself and you've been feeding the corn. Because you can't take the corn at the last moment and says, I'm going to feed it down, I want my harvest tomorrow. I'll study tonight and I'll have the national board tomorrow. No, it doesn't work that way. You've been feeding the corn all along, and it grows. You get this thing in its proper context, okay? So, guard your kernel of corn. Guard your dream. Don't let anybody take it. It's your bone in life, and nobody's taking my bone. You want to get the dandruff of me? Just go for it. I'll fucking snatch you in. Okay. Next up on choice, we got Dr. Bruce. He came from Lompoc, California a few years ago, was in practice up here in Woodstock, and he's going to share a few thoughts with us.
So I brought my notes today. My wife and I helped a friend, another chiropractor today. She is running a 100K race from Kennesaw Mountain to Stone Mountain. Yeah. So we ran sections with her, like for support. I had one job. Bring directions and don't get lost. We got lost. So hopefully these directions are better than the ones I had today. So this was cool. This story with the corn. I recently heard a story. A farmer was talking to God about his frustrations about farming, and he's like, if you could just give me sun and a little bit of rain and some clouds maybe when I want it, I'll have the perfect crop because it's so hard for me. And God says, you know what? It's your lucky day because I'm going on vacation. And I'm gonna give it over to you for a season and allow you to take over. And you have control of everything. So he's perfect. So he sets his seed in the soil, he cues the sun, he cues the warmth, he cues some rain, cycles go, he watches his corn grow. It's going to be a banner crop by the way this thing's growing, right? It's growing, day in, day out. Gets to the end of the season for harvest, and his stalks are tall. I mean, these are some tall, any Iowa people here, right? These are like tall stalks. So I've never been to Iowa, so I don't really know what a tall stalk is, but I'm just saying these were tall stalks, right? So he comes to harvest, and he goes through and pulls out all the corn, and he's looking at the corn, and it's like the most jacked up corn that he's ever seen. It's not healthy. The kernels are all withered, and he tastes it. It doesn't taste good. And he's like, God, I don't know. I'm at a loss. What's the deal? You gave me control of everything. He goes, yes, I gave you the sun. I gave you the rain, the temperature, the soil. I gave you everything. But you forgot one thing, the wind. He goes, you never blew the wind, because when I blow the wind, what happens is the stalks grow the roots deep into the soil, so the stalks don't blow over. And the deeper the roots go, the sweeter the corn. So in life, we have all these challenges and things that blow through us and make us stronger. So that has nothing to do with what's on my notes, but I figured that's cool. We'll go with it. So we'll talk about choices. So I have does anyone know David Goggins? Yeah. So I've heard him say this. I'm going to rip it off from him because it's kind of my thing now. But I think in life, I think that what happens, this is just my own philosophy, I am split from spirit into physical on whatever day that happens. And the name of the game is to meet up again in the end. And what David Goggins says, and what I think, is that when I meet myself in the end, when I meet my perfect self, the self that initiated me, I want that self to be like, oh, I did not know you were going to do all that stuff. That was amazing. You took a couple weird turns, but you surprised me. I didn't see that coming. I mean, you kicked ass in this life. That was amazing. And I think if we have that philosophy, to surprise ourselves in the end, or to surprise our day of judgment, man, I didn't see that coming. That was a good show you put on. That was amazing. Could you imagine you're surprising the guy that wrote the book on you? That's cool. So if you play to that level, you'll always succeed. So with that comes, I practice, I've been doing this 30 years. I somewhat recently stumbled on this zone technique. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but anyway, one of the concepts in concept therapy is there's a perfect picture that exists in the ethereal of whatever it is, of me, of my idea, of my business. On the next level is the astral plane, or the mental plane, or the plane of beliefs, like we talked about beliefs and decisions. So trickling down. On the ground level, let's say the corporeal level, or the manifest physical level, is where that gets to play out, in the tangible, right? So we have perfect, has to filter through beliefs into manifestation, right? And that happens. That's how the whole thing works, right? So you can affect that perfect picture by your belief system. The idea for me is well, what if I got in tune with my perfect picture and I changed my belief system so that on the bottom it manifests and those two things match up as closely as possible? Wouldn't that be cool? That's, you just won at life if you can figure that one out, right? If you go into your patients and think about your patients, every one of them that walks in, by the way, there's people that made choices tonight that are missing this. These empty chairs are choices that have been made. And this guy with the pepperoni there, that pepperoni's never adjusting anybody. The person that was going to sit there was going to give a dynamite adjustment, but they gotta figure it out some other way, right? So we want to make sure that, We got no more pepperonis on here. We want real thinking butts in these chairs, right? Because we want that when we get to the concept of our patients in their perfect form of health, like picking that for them in our own mentation, so that we can help them download that perfect picture and that perfect image into this reality plane that we all are messing around in. So with that comes the choices that you make. And has anyone ever seen, I'm sure, Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah.
Right? Remember Monsters, Inc.? Like, all the monsters are like, all right, it's time to go to work. And this whatever that was, conveyor belt of doors. And you're like, whoop, I'll go through this one. So those doors are choices in life. That represents choices, right? And what's a choice? What is it? Anyone got an idea? What's a choice? An option.
A decision. Free will. Make action.
Free will, yep, okay. Part 2 of choice. So it's an option. A choice, it's a set of variables. It's like in quantum physics, it's a probability. Like it's this bunch of probabilities. And it's nothing, right? Like Sid said about the umpire, it ain't nothing till I calls it, right? The strike 3, no, it's nothing right now until you make the choice. When you make the choice, you collapse those probabilities into possibilities, right? So once you start to make the choices, what's important in this sentence? You make a choice. This is the elite group. I was going to trick you guys. You, right? You're the difference. You're making the choice. You get to step through that door, right? And guess what? We talked about deciding. The decision is the work. So you collapse those probabilities and you want to turn it into a possibility. You decide, so here I am in this set of circumstances. I now have my mind, I have my perfect download of what I want, and I start to work towards that. And I begin to make that choice of my perfect practice, or my perfect adjustment, or my perfect relationship, or my perfect whatever, parenthood, whatever it is, right? You get to do that. And in the work, that's what unfolds that probability into a structured thing. So the more you work, the more you put that, it's like the steam engine, you drop some water in this thing and you heat it up and it slowly builds pressure and slowly builds pressure until enough pressure goes and it turns the flywheel. And that flywheel turns that crank and that crank creates torque. And then you have the work that's being done and this whole thing keeps going and going and going. But it starts with that first door open. Decide. Do the work. Right? So that's how you get back to surprising yourself in the end when you meet yourself back into that, like, yes, you just did that day in and day out and day in and day out. My problem of making decisions is I have all these choices. I'm like, oh my God, which one do I pick? Which one do I go? What do I do? What do I do? I'm like sitting and Renee's like, just pick one. For God's sake, just pick one. Please pick one. How do you, for me, that's the hardest thing. How do you make a choice? Like, let's say if we're reading a menu in a restaurant, right? What are those things on the menu? They're choices. Those are just concepts. So it's on this paper, and you tell the person, yeah, I want the cheeseburger, whatever it is, and they go back to the kitchen and they take all the component parts and they put it together into a cheeseburger. Kind of like what I just explained about your life, right? So, putting that, I just got lost. We just took it a wrong turn. Putting that into reality, finding the menu, knowing what you want to order. Would it be hard? Let's say you had a peanut allergy. Would it be hard to order off a menu? Okay? Not knowing what's on there, but if you know you have a peanut allergy, or if you know, like, it's easy, right? Like, Kung Pao chicken with peanuts. Don't order that, right? Like that becomes easy once you know, if you know who you are. So I asked you what the most important part of you make a choice was, and you guys all said you at the same time, which was pretty cool. The key to making the choice is to know the chooser. If you can know the chooser, in other words, if you can relate to that perfect downloaded, that perfect place of you, and understand that, the choices that you make now are so focused, and they're so dialed in to who you want to be, to who you become, and you don't get to do that. These guys, they made choices right now by default, because they didn't make a choice, right? They took a pass on this, right? You guys made a choice that's advancing you towards that person, right? Because Dr. Mike drove for, what, 2-3 hours to get here to download that awesome information into us? We all got stuff from that. I did, and I've been doing this 30 years, right? It's cool. Like, oh, shoot, I've got to remember that part, right? So if you can know the chooser, life is a whole lot easier,
Amen.
right? So you're not going through the default modes. When you make choices as the chooser, yes, I'm making this. You're not the executive anymore. You're the one that orders it up, right? You're the originator of thought. So you get to walk through this door. When you walk through this door, guess what else happens? New menu, new bunch of doors going, right? Walk through this one, right? So I'm moving down the line. It's kind of like a plot in a story, right? Like with the plot, you need a character. You need a character arc. You need some conflict to move the story around. Like, that's how life is. Like, it doesn't start out with, come see this movie. Joe is still Joe. Like, who wants to see that, right? That sucks. But how about, like, Joe versus the volcano? Like, now we got something to work with. Like, there's some conflict here. Like, let's move this story around. So the more you can make those choices, the more sets of circumstances open up to you. And the more you move through it. And the more you move through it. And the closer you become to realizing who that you was in the very beginning, right? So as you continue down that path, I'll give you an example of how that manifests in my life. So, I feel like we've been married for 50 years because I can't imagine cramming this much joy in only 29 years. So it's got to be 50 because it's this fucking good, right? It's got to be. So people ask me, how did you know? How did you know that Renee was the one? I was like, I didn't. I didn't know. I had a feeling, but you know what I did? Someone said, you said decision. You said to make a decision before. I decided that if Renee was going to be the one, that she's the only one for me forever. I made that decision because I know my morals, I know my values, and at that time I was young. I had a lot more hair, and I had whatever. But I knew how this worked, and I decided, and I put the work into it, and there's wind, there's rain, there's sunshine, there's all this stuff that happens. But that doesn't change the decision that I made, because the decision I made set me on a course. And now, here I am, 30 years later in practice. I've gone to school with some of your dads. I was a kid when BJ was with my brother in chiropractic. My other brother's here. I have a daughter in Naples, kicking butt, as a chiropractor, who sent Alex to school, right? Right? Casey, my son, he's at school now, prereqs, and yeah, favorite. All because I decided, because I knew what I wanted. I knew who I was. And I want to surprise myself in the end. Who wants to surprise themselves in the end? Yeah. Come on. Then surprise yourself. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. You know, that stimulated a thought in my mind when Bruce was talking about the chairs here and choices that we make. And it has something to do with your moral integrity. Each one of you showed up tonight. You said you're going to be here, and you were here. These chairs here have a name on them. And as much as I pleaded to everybody, if you can't make it, please let me know. These people did not have the integrity or relationship with me that they cared about. They would even acknowledge that I won't be there. You did. And that's what's to me is important, is to start recognizing every little victory you have, every time you make your commitment, you go stronger in life. Go ahead.
That's right. So as a chooser, how do you empower those who default to become choosers?
My example? What I have found in life is I can't tell anybody what to do unless they ask me what to do. And I have to relate back to growing up as a child, and my parents would start telling me what I should be doing. And I said, no, I want to learn myself. When you're open and you ask for help, you receive it. If you're not asking for help, you have somebody butting into your life trying to control your life. And to me, it's like Dr. Sid used to say, when you leave the meetings, we went back to practice and things, don't worry about telling anybody. Just go out and do it. Be the example. And then people say, I want what he's got. I want what she's got. And then they start opening up. So to me, it's like the most important thing is like when I'm saying each one of you had the integrity because you made a commitment to be here. And you need to yes, I have integrity. And when I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there. I wouldn't say I'm going to be there and not show up because I really don't care about our relationship that we have. See? And you're building on these things, your integrity as you go through life. Now, next up, we have Dr. Sharon Gorman. She's going to share a few words of choices.
Put that on?
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
It's a choice.
Not mine, no.
Just remember, Bruce, your wife's watching.
I was sitting here watching. You already made your choice. I was sitting here, and it's sort of like one of those things like, okay, next, next. And I feel my blood pressure going. So I'm glad I was next. I'm I'm in practice longer than some of you are alive. That seems to be the theme. I remember when I was in school, a chiropractor came out of New York and spoke to my class, and he was in school for 7 years. I thought he was ancient. I was amazed he could still stand up. Next month will be 38 years in practice. And I still practice full time. And I got to tell you that I like practicing more now than the day I got out of school. And I'll also tell you that a couple weeks ago, I had this, and since I'm in practice, I like telling you stories about patients and since you're students. And chiropractic amazes me over and over again. So I had this woman I was taking care of when she was pregnant, and she had her baby, and she stopped coming to me, which I think is the weirdest thing. But that happens sometimes. They get off their schedule, and she stopped coming to me. And her baby had a shake, was shaking. And she didn't even bring the baby to me. She started bringing the baby to neurologists and all that kind of stuff. And then the baby started tensing up, like it would the whole spine, and she didn't bring her to me. 15 months old. If you set her, try to stand her up, her legs would just collapse. She couldn't even hold up her body weight. 15 months old, and she started having seizures. And then finally, my daughter, who's friends with the mother, who had moved away, lives about an hour and a half away, said, you need to bring the baby in to get adjusted. Find a chiropractor near where you live. And her friend said, I would only trust your mom. So she said, well, bring her, get her adjusted. So she brought her in, got her adjusted. It was pretty cool, right? Didn't come back. I'm like, is the baby alive? Is the baby dead? What's going on? And I love this term that came out not long ago, at least I heard it, it's ghosting. She ghosted me. Kid on a left atlas, I swear, when I put a contact on my finger on that bone, they heard it in the waiting room. I mean, 2 weeks later, that's a long time. She comes back in the office, and she's walking in the office with one finger. The 15-month-old is walking in with her. And the baby had not had another seizure and was not shaking and not getting tetanus or whatever they call it when they, arch their back and they get really stiff. And I tell you this, and so that's a miracle in chiropractic, right? I wish she would come back for a third visit. You think, I would like a dime for every patient that went into remission from cancer, from chiropractic while I was adjusting them, but I don't know where they are, There's some people, they just come with, and they get what they need. And when I was new in practice, if you didn't come to my doctor's report and you didn't play by my rules, I threw you out. And you know what happens when you throw a patient out? They don't come back. It took me a while to figure this out. So, but sometimes somebody has to have low back pain 5 or 6 times before they kind of get like, maybe I should keep getting my life turned on, right? And here it is, and I learned this from having kids. Unconditional love. No matter what they do, there is nothing my kids, and they try. They, to this day, I think they try to outdo each other. But I'm not going to stop loving them. There's nothing my patients can do that will make me stop loving them. They can do really stupid things, and I really hate when they do it to their kids. I had this guy came to me for years. He started when he was in junior high school, got married, had kids, 3 kids, all getting adjusted. He came in every Friday night to get adjusted. Dream patient, right? He didn't come in on Friday night. I thought he was on vacation. Then the next Friday, he didn't come in. And I called him. You guys don't know you could actually talk on phones. But this was a while back. And I said, Mike, where are you? And he said, Sharon, I got to be honest with you. I've never been sick. My kids have never been sick. And we're going to not get adjusted for a while and see what happens. And my response is, well, I hope it happens to you and not to your kids. Right? I sold the practice years ago. He still comes in on Fridays. But he had to test the water, I guess. People have to do what they have to do. But what stays solid? Me. That's the constant. You can't anchor to an unanchored mind. In my practice, I am the strongest anchor. I love when people say, my CAs, they believe in chiropractic more than I do. And I always say, well, if they did, they'd go to chiropractic school and become a chiropractor. What are they working for you? I shouldn't say that a lot because most of my CAs have gone to chiropractic school. But you are the anchor in your office. You are the anchor in your life. And I remember when I was a student, John Hoffman came and talked to my class, and they said, how many chiropractors are in the room? And it was like third quarter, so no one raised their hand. He said, get your hands up. He said, I am now, by the power invested by me, you are now a chiropractor. Right now, you're a chiropractor. In this moment, you're a chiropractor. Well, let me tell you, in this moment, you're a chiropractor. In this moment, you can have effect on people. You know, of course I'm going to tell people they need to get adjusted. You know, you go to a surgeon, they tell you need to get surgery. Somebody asked me, need to get adjusted. But if they ask my patient, or they read my Google reviews, I can't believe I get patients from Google reviews. It's so ridiculous. But I got to tell you that I did ask the woman whose daughter started walking if she would do a Google review for me. That's not too much to ask, right? And she did one, and she gave me 5 stars. And she said, I would never go to any other chiropractor but Sharon. And I'm like, that's it? Can't you, tell the story about the shaking? I have to trust, and she's a bartender, I have to trust she's telling somebody that story. And I have to trust that all the Wednesday nights, Mike, that I stand in front of that poster and tell the chiropractic story, that you never know how far-reaching. And you know what? I don't even do it for them anymore. I do it for me. Because my orientation is my affirmation. It is who I am. It reminds me of who I am and why I do what I do. And by me doing the orientation, I get to hear it. And my CAs get to hear it. And it anchors us in every time we hear it. I don't do it for them, I do it for me. If you want something, you have to give it away. If you don't feel like you're getting enough love from your relationships, give more love. Because you feel love when you're loving. I tell this story about, I have this 9-pound Bichon. It kind of looks like a Q-tip with eyes, but about 4 weeks after a haircut, you have to cut the eyes out again. It just looks like a Q-tip. And for some reason, the patients love this dog, and especially the kids. And I take care of a lot of kids, but she licks kids. I can't get her to stop. You know, when they're in the car seat, it's like her favorite food group. I don't know. But the patients think I have the dog there for them because they like the dog. You know why I have that dog there? For me. Because every time I look at that dog looks back and goes, I love you, Ma. Yes. You know, when a patient, you ever go have a patient call and you go to the phone and they say, I got to tell you, I've only been in once and you are the best chiropractor I've ever been to. I don't have to get adjusted again. I'm cured. And you're like, and I look at Gracie and she goes, you're the best. You need somebody or a whole tribe of people in your life that reminds you that you're the best. Now, you're supposed to have that from inside. You know, that's supposed to come from inside, and it usually does, but in our toughest moments, and we all have them, where nobody's immune, right? In our toughest moments, we need our gods with skin. We need those people that are going to look us in the eye and remind us who we are and who we were and what we can do, and hold us up when our legs are shaking. And if you think you're going to get through life without those moments, you'd be ripped off. You would absolutely be ripped off if you didn't have those opportunities to get stronger by being blown through the wind. How damn strong do you need to be? Is my question sometimes, but obviously stronger. So I think it's so crucial to make choices. It's so crucial to have a vision. and to share that vision and speak that vision into reality, but to also realize that the power that made the body, that heals the body, also heals you and also can guide you. I listen to that innate voice. I live by that innate voice. And if you listen to that innate voice, it develops. It's like if you never use your bicep, after a while you won't have one anymore. But if you use it like a muscle, it gets stronger and stronger. And if you listen to that intuition, it gets stronger and stronger. And we have such an opportunity because every time we put our hands on somebody, it actually traverses through us and connects with theirs and bounces back into us. The more patients I adjust in a day, the more energy I have that night. Because that energy bounces back and forth. And the connection that I make with a patient, I mean, I could talk. Now, I have no problem talking, but that's not why they come to me. They come to me because they could feel me. They could feel that I love them. And they feel, here's what they got to feel. You know, they how many times can you hit them in the head with this picture? They got to know you give a shit. You got to. It's about them. They got to be clear that you're there to wash their feet. You're there to serve them. You're there. You are the reason that they woke up you woke up that morning. They are the reason that you meditated and you did your breath work or however it is you prepare. They need to, that in that second, you need to be able to be 100% with them. You know, a lot of people bring their kids to the office. I only bring my dog. A lot of people bring their kids to the office, but I can never, you know, I had my first kid. I brought the kid to the office, and the kid cried. Imagine that. And I had somebody's head in my hands, and I dropped their head. I mean, it only went this far. I mean, it was connected. But, get that? But I'm a mother before I'm a chiropractor, you see. So when my kid needs me, that's first. Family is first. So I can be distracted because when a person is there, I have to give them as good an adjustment as I gave my grandson yesterday. I've got to, in that moment, the building should be able to burn down and I wouldn't even notice. I might not always know their name. It's in big magic marker on there. I still have to have travel cards. But I know who they are, and I know where they live, and they know that I care for them. And now, because of Google, and because of Review Wave, you know, the text, you could stay more connected with them. You become part of their life. So what is the message? See, this is the important thing. What is the message that you want them to get? What is the product? Just think about this for a second. We're salespeople. You don't think you're a salesperson? Think again. You're a salesperson. Your product is chiropractic, right? So think of all the people that join gyms, but they never go. And they have auto debit every month. It makes them feel better, but they don't go to the gym. Most people know if you eat right, exercise, and take Geritol, you'll be healthier, right? How do I get this message to them that getting their spine checked every week is crucial to them being alive? Well, here is my product, and I don't scare them off right away. I scare them off eventually, some of them, but what are you selling? Are you selling back pain relief? You selling popping noises? Those YouTube videos. What are you selling? Aliveness. Our product is aliveness. We are selling life. That's why we call our office Life Centers. That's why you go to Life University. Because you could release that universal intelligence to innate intelligence to be expressed in their bodies so that they could be alive again because they're reconnected again. And what disconnects them? Stress, physical, chemical, or emotional. But what reconnects them? The adjustment. Only the adjustment. I don't care how many Advil you throw on a subluxation. It'd be really hard to get rid of it. You'd have to have really good aim, I guess, on that atlas. I don't know. And then you have to make it okay. You have to be, you know, when you guys have a diploma, I recommend you put it in a prominent place on the wall so that people can realize that you're a doctor, so you don't have to impress them that you're a doctor. I respect a good auto mechanic more than you know, right? Or I respect a good manicurist or a good massage therapist or anyone that's good at what they do. I respect somebody that's good at chiropractic, who knows, who's a good technician and knows how to locate and correct a subluxation. All that is important, but none of it is important unless they want to come back. And how do you get them coming back? Why do they come to you? Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're on fire, they'll just come to watch you burn. I can't tell you how many new patients I got just because people wanted to bring a friend to see me. Like not as a patient, just like see me. Like you got to meet my chiropractor. There is something, you know how you meet somebody? There's something about her. I'm alive. I'm alive, and I'm so full of gratitude. I live in a state of gratitude. I'm grateful for those 2 adjustments that 15-month-old had. She's probably 16 months by now. I am grateful for everyone that walks through the door. I am grateful for everyone that allows me to put my hands on them. You can't live in gratitude and in resentment at the same time. You get to choose if you want to live in the now. You have to clean up your past so you could be present in the now and express life in the now. It's the expression of life that attracts them to you, because they have to want what you have, and that's why they come to you to get it. And that's why they bring everyone they know. You see, if you have a fee, a fair fee, and you give a great adjustment, and that all happens, that's really cool. But that might not be, all those cancer patients I told you about, I don't think any of them ever referred to me very much. Somebody is going to refer to you when they are excited, not because they necessarily got results, but because they're excited, and because even though they paid you, and even though you gave them what you promised them, which was to clear their subluxation, they got more than they expected. They got that adjustment with something special. And as we know in the safety pin, in the cycle of life, they will then want to give you more. That's when they start bringing you food. And they bring you referrals. And they do Google reviews for you. And who is richer for all of this? Me. Me. If you wake me up in the middle of the night, and you got to answer this for yourself, but if you wake me up out of a dead sleep and you say, what do you do? What is your why? My why is to get as many people under lifetime care as possible. That hasn't changed. And if you ask me if I want to put this in my office or do this or that, it all goes through those lenses. Is that going to get one more family under lifetime care? Now, I'm not here to tell you how to be a chiropractor, and I actually, believe it or not, after all these years, don't judge. I was going to say don't judge, but I won't lie to you. I don't judge other people as much. That's honest, right? Because for what everyone, there's going to be people. I remember I was speaking at a seminar one time, and somebody raised their hand, and this was before computers. And they said, well, what do you do if somebody wants research? I get these engineers, and they want research. And at that time, they used to sell like a binder, and I had all this, and I'm like, oh, I give them the binder. And they're like, oh, you have a binder? And they wanted to find out how to get the binder. And then I thought about it. I said, not a lot of my patients really ask me for, they don't ask me for that. They ask me for a hug. You see, if you're an athlete, you might attract athletes. If you're Spanish speaking, I remember I had a chiropractor opening my town, a life grad, and he came in and he was a guy from Puerto Rico, and he wanted a PI practice, and he wanted to attract patients that speak Spanish. And he goes, and I was just getting ready to open my office too. I just had opened, and he said, well, what kind of patient, my office down here, he said, what kind of patients do you want to attract? And I said, upper class, middle-aged women. would be good. You see, you're going to attract whatever whatever you put out, whatever you do it. And the truth is I bet you in my practice the average patient isn't 30 years old. So I guess I got what I got. I take Medicare. I don't have 5 Medicare patients in my whole practice. I probably don't have 10 patients older than me in my practice. I don't know why. I just keep serving who comes in, maybe because I advertise on Facebook. But that'll do it. I just keep on loving them. And maybe I'm young at heart. And maybe they're more ready for our product, which is aliveness. Maybe they're ready to take the proactive, make a choice, you see. I've had people apologize to me for coming in the office because they didn't have a symptom. Because they're like, I don't want to waste your time and, my husband's money. But you told me to come back, but I feel fine. Not everyone is ready to step out. Not everyone is ready to make a choice. But I am ready to sing the only song that in this lifetime I've been told to sing. If I was a bird, I got one song. You're better off without solicitations than with it. And you know how I get stronger? I get stronger in basements. I get stronger in doing philosophy events and speaking at philosophy events. And I get stronger in talking to patients about the philosophy, the ones that want to hear it. That makes me stronger because like my dog, when I look at her and she looks back at me, she goes, oh, that's cool, she loves me. I feel love when I love my dog. I feel alive when I have a 15-month-old walking. I feel like it's all worth it. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all worth it when I can wake up the next morning and realize that I get to do it again after 37 years. So I have to tell you that when I was one of those chiropractic miracle cases. I've been a chiropractor since I'm 22. I never knew anything else. I couldn't wait to become a chiropractor. And I had seen a handful of miracles, including my own, that turned me on to chiropractic. When I said in Florida years ago in front of this group of chiropractors, I said, I'm more happy to be a chiropractor now than the day I got out of school. And they looked at me like I was crazy. And somebody said, what are you talking about? I said, before I believed in chiropractic. Now I know chiropractic. Now I have watched generations of families that have lived, including my own, with a different quality and possibly quantity of life because they have chosen to get their life turned on. This is why I'm here, and this is what excites me, and this is why I'm in Chuck Ribley's basement sharing some time with you. So thank you for letting me share.
That's tremendous, Sharon. We've been on the circuit speaking around the country for years, Sharon and ourselves. She's always one that turns me on when I hear about it. It's that excitement about chiropractic. This is the Spizz about chiropractic, that excitement, what motivates you, the reason you are what you are.
Water bottle.
And next up is the water bottle kid.
One, I love kissing women.
Nice.
You too, Bruce. Hey,
Okay, come to, you don't have to go all the way around, but that's okay. And next up, our professor. Yes, that's it. She's he's in a rock and roll, it looks like.
Are you gonna play the guitar for us?
sorry?
You're gonna play the guitar?
Okay,
No, but I'll hum a few bars.
okay. And
Yes, sir.
PJ,
Yes, sir.
just click that on.
Am I on here, Bruce?
Yep.
Yes. There you go. Shit.
Dr. Ribley said, talk about choices a little bit. Good choices, bad choices. I made a bad choice today. Okay? Made a bad choice today. My next door neighbor and I put up a 60-foot fence. Putting up a 60-foot fence is for 30-year-olds, not 69-and-a-half-year-olds. We made a choice a couple of weeks ago to have our grandkids sleep over. We made a choice because of our grandkids, man. Definition of grandchildren is God's rewards to you for not killing your kids when they were young. That's why young people have children. That's why we agreed to watch the grandkids for 5 days in November so my daughter and son-in-law can go away. But yeah, what little hair I have will be, we bit off more than we could chew. But life really is about choices. And everybody's been using this tonight. Thanks for bringing this, Mike. B.J. Palmer said, you never know how far-reaching something you may think, say, or do today will affect the lives of countless millions tomorrow. Okay? The really cool thing is you get to change people's lives with your hands. Dr. Sid used to say, medicine is high-tech and low-touch. Chiropractic is often low-tech but high-touch. If you don't like touching people, if you don't like hugging people, if you don't like embracing people, go to dental school. Because you can put on a mask, you can put on gloves, and you can hide behind all that stuff, right? Dentists help people, they don't change lives, okay? Chiropractors change lives. All of us who have adjusted patients before go back to their doctors. They come in with, somebody said, I think Mike said, they come in for back pain and neck pain. But they come in with A and B. They never tell you about C, D, and E that go away and we change lives. Okay? Mike, I'll phrase this very carefully. How many patients have you gotten pregnant? The best way to say it, not in front of Leslie, no, the best way to say it is, how many patients have gotten pregnant under your care? Probably, well, hundreds, however many.
Me too.
Okay? What? Okay? I stopped. Well, there's both of them. Okay? How many patients have had children that they were unable to have children? Okay? And they tried in utero, they tried in vitro, they tried everything. And the doctor, and then they'll go back to their OBGYN and say, it's a miracle. Do you know what we call it? Tuesday. Okay? These are the ways that you are going to be able to impact people's lives. Some people are going to say, well, but how? And all you got to do is understand this chart. Right? Somewhere in this house there is a circuit, some of you have heard this probably, somewhere in this house there is a circuit breaker box. And if the circuit breaker to the fridge pops, the food's going to go bad within a couple of days. The ice will melt, the food's going to stink, and you're going to throw out all the food, and you're going to bring in new food, and within a couple of more days, that food's going to go bad, that food's going to stink, because all you did was address the symptom, not turn the power back on, which is correcting the cause of the problem. If you understand this wiring diagram and explain it to people in a simple KISS principle, okay? You're not going to talk to them about blocked up sodium potassium channels. Okay? Nobody has ever come in and said, my sodium potassium channels are blocked, my Krebs cycle is disrupted, I'm having trouble absorbing long chain fatty acids. Do you need to know this shit to get past boards? Yes. Right? But that is just a little bit of the obstacle that's we all have gone through it. Okay? We've all gone through, and you know what? We all get past boards. We all get through boards. We all get through clinic. We all get through OSCE. We all get through everything. Okay? Get through musculoskeletal, even, yeah. But there may be a couple of exceptions. Ba-dum-bum. Okay? Because the light at the end of the tunnel is not a freight train coming at you from the other direction. The light at the end of the tunnel is a life beyond your expectations. My friend Armand Rossi says, happiness is when your reality exceeds your expectations. Okay? I went to 4 years of college as a history major because I wanted to be a history professor. I actually had education credits in my bachelor's degree because I really always loved teaching. So 4 years of college, graduated with a history degree. My father said, now what? Get your ass out, get a job. Well, at least they still let me live in the house, so I went into the business world for 4 years. That was work. That was going, every morning, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the person behind the curtain. That was work. Then I got my first 2 adjustments. My headaches went away, my acid reflux went away, and my buddy, who was a high school friend of mine, whose roommate was Bruce and John's brother, Murray Galbraith, gave me my 2 first adjustments, and that's how long I've known the Stevens boys. All right? Gave me my first 2 adjustments, and he said, you got to go to Atlanta. Well, shit, they talk funny down there. They think I talked funny when I came down. Well, it's too. My older daughter married a kid who says wantin', y'all, and fixin'. They nicknamed my grandson Bubba. Can only imagine what your father would have thought of that one. But we made a choice, made a good choice. I made a bad choice initially. Stood my wife up on our first date, asked her out again 5 weeks later. She said, you're going to show up this time. So yeah, obviously she forgave me. But then again, she married me 44 years ago, so her judgment can always be called into question. But the 4 words, happy wife, happy life, always ring true. But we made a choice. I made a choice to be able to educate patients about the body's wiring system. KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Hard bone, soft nerve, body doesn't work well. It's very simple. Thursday night, they were going to start this at Life a couple of years ago, but COVID got in the way. COVID got in the way of everything. But during COVID, chiropractors were deemed essential. Most chiropractors said they're doing better now than they ever did before, because we were essential. We were needed. People needed to relieve their stress by going into their chiropractor's office. But they had a retirement party for some faculty and some staff who'd been to the school and they retired. Some showed up, some didn't. A couple of you were in upper quarters and had Dr. DeMons for histology. For those of you who did not experience the Master Blaster, which was his test, Dr. DeMons started teaching at Life right after Dr. Briegel and I graduated. Laura, you didn't have him either because Sam DeMons, okay? For those of you who don't know, Dr. D is about yay tall, did 3 tours in Vietnam, right? Hardcore. We had a retirement party for him, and 7 of us from Basic Science went there to support him because we miss his presence. Not TS, but CE. We miss his presence. So you never know how far-reaching something you may think, say, or do today will affect the lives of countless millions tomorrow. We had a retirement party in our division just before he left. And I called down to Dr. LaMarche's office to find out how many students have actually graduated from Life University, Life College, and Life Chiropractic College, which is what it was when we went through. It's just one program, one building. The place was a shithole when we got there. It really was. My wife said, I brought her there the first time to see the place at night, at 8 o'clock at night. I stalled all day long. She said to me, and we hadn't even been dating, we were dating a couple of months. My divorce papers for my first wife weren't even filed. So you want to talk about taking a leap of faith? I bring her there at 8 o'clock, no filters, okay? This is not so I can say anything the fuck I want, okay?
So tell them what I said about the school.
8 o'clock at night in January, it is pitch black as dark. She goes, this isn't a school, it's a fucking warehouse. And she was right, wasn't she? But what did we have, Lou? Because Dr. Briegel and I were classmates. What did we have? We had passion. We had some great instructors who were all a couple of years older than us or about the same age. Jerry Klum is younger than you are, the same age as me. He went on to become the president of Life West for 30 years. We had passion, and from the day I graduated, okay, from the day I graduated, I stopped working. I haven't worked a day in the last 42 years, okay? Well, when I was in practice, it was a labor of love. When I taught the first 9 years, it was a labor of love. When I owned my website business, traveling 15, 20 times a year, it was a labor of love. Towards the end, it wasn't as much fun as it was. That's why I no longer do it. But the last 7, 8 years back teaching, it's all, I don't go to work. When you get to your 6th quarter business class, the one that I used to teach, you may see a video by a guy by the name of Scott Dinsmore, who founded a program called Live Your Legend. Scott Dinsmore did some research and said, come up with about 80% of the people out there hate what they do. Okay? You're never going to hate what you do. You're going to love what you do, and they're going to pay you for it. And you make a nice living. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with making a nice living. There's nothing wrong with having all the good things in life that you deserve because you work hard, you play hard, and enjoy the fruits of your labors. We went to Chick-fil-A today, and the owner of Chick-fil-A is about 6'7".
That was a choice, by the way.
Okay? That was a choice. Yeah, I know. It was easy. It was easy, it was quick, because we had to go to Home Depot, which was across the street. That was a choice, and my wife knows I hate going into Home Depot. Okay? Then go by yourself next time. But I had to lift the pressure. Yes, it's your choice to drag me to. And the franchise owner is about 6'6", and he always calls me the Corvette guy. We've been talking Corvettes for 17 years or something like that. And when I went to the counter, he came out of the back, he goes, I need to talk to you. So after we started eating, he comes over and sits down, or he stands up, and I'm looking up because I'm sitting down. And he said, I finally ordered one. I said, no, really? So he ordered a C8 mid-engine Corvette. I go, first words, you can fit? He goes, yes, I can finally fit. I said, you guys, you're a retail owner. Your shop's open from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m., 6 days a week, and he's got 2 locations. He works his butt off. And I said to him, you work hard, you earned it, you deserve it. You all are going to work hard. And there's nothing wrong with working hard. Okay? Work hard, but work smart. Okay? Take the time to enjoy the fruits of your labors. But getting back to Sam DeMons, circle back. Dr. Scott was at the podium talking, and he was about 20 minutes ahead of schedule. So he said, anybody want to say anything? So me, I'm not shy. Everybody knows that. I said, I did the math after calling down to the development office and realized that Sam DeMons taught probably about 15,000 chiropractic students. Okay? Wait a minute, it gets better. On a minimum, I did the math on my phone. They are good for something else other than calls. 15,000 chiropractic students, if they, all of them only saw 200 different individuals in their lives, that's 3 million people. Wow. I said, Sam, you indirectly, directly and indirectly, spread out geometrically, have impacted at least 3 million lives. And that is a WTF moment, if you really sit back and think about it. You are all going to have the ability to change lives because you made a choice. You made a choice based on a personal experience with a chiropractor. Maybe someone told you about life. Maybe you were on a webinar. Maybe it just came to you in the middle of the night, an innate thought flash. But you're going to have that same impact on people's lives. And as Dr. Sharon said, you love them all. You don't have to like them all. Okay? But you love everybody that comes into your office. And you live in a spirit of gratitude. Dr. Ian Grasham, who was one of the co-founders of the institution with Dr. Ribley, always said from the podium at DE, live your life as if you're in debt to the spirit because you can't outgive the universe. Okay? You just can't. And if you give unconditionally, the last thing's purpose is to do, to love, to give, to serve, out of your own abundance with no expectation of anything in return. You live your life in debt to the spirit, you don't expect anything, and I guarantee you'll be given everything. Life is good. Life does not suck. Okay? People make it sucky. If 80% of everybody on the planet loved what they did instead of hated what they did, imagine how much of a better place it would be for everybody. Okay? Living in a spirit of love, living in a spirit of forgiveness, living in a spirit of service, unconditional. Okay? Dr. Mike's 30 some odd years, still knows what he's doing. Dr. Sharon still knows what she's doing. Dr. Bruce still knows what she's doing. I'm sure Dr. Ribley gave his kids a choice. You could become a chiropractor or go somewhere else. Okay? How many chiropractors in the family? Jim, Larry, Danny, Kristen, Palmer, Brew. I'm losing count. 7, 8, 9. Okay? Same thing with you. Those of you at the assembly on Thursday heard Dr. Selena talk. All of her siblings are chiropractors. Her father was a chiropractor. And she was the first woman to be president of ICA BJ's organization. Well, we're living, and she's right, chiropractic is booming. All right? You will have a ball. You will never work a day in your life, and you're going to get paid for it, and you get paid for it handsomely. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you made one little choice. If you made a right turn instead of a left turn, you might not be here. Empty seats. Shame. What are they missing? Okay? You're here to network. You're here to fellowship. You're here because we all are on the same mission. We are with people of like minds. Thoughts become actions. You need to always choose your thoughts wisely. How many times in 30 some odd years, Mike, have you thought about a patient who hasn't been in the office in 6 years, and you walk up to the front desk and that patient had just called the office? Okay? Sharon, how many times that happened to you? Dr. Ribley, how many times that happened to you? You can change your life. You can change everything about you with just a thought. And you know what? You can change things for the bad if you harbor all the negative thoughts too. Okay? Your mind is your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Choose what you think of wisely. Choose what you do wisely, but do it from a purpose and do it from a position of love and service. And guys, you'll never work a day in your life. 83 years old and has 50 students and us here on a Saturday night. Because for which a lot of other things he could be doing, but he's still on the mission after 60 some odd years in the profession. That's why when he asks me to help out with this, I do whatever the hell I can to make it better. Because the rising tide raises all boats. You're not in competition with the person next to you. You're not in competition with the chiropractor down the block. Rising tide raises all boats. The more chiropractors are out there, the greater we will get at raising the awareness level of what chiropractic really is. As Sid used to say, it's not just about cricks, backaches, and strains. It's the biggest idea of all. Okay? We are glad you all are here. We're happy you're here. You are going to be colleagues. You are going to be are leaders in the profession here, sitting here, and you don't even know it yet. Who's going to be the next one to be the great leader? BJ said his last spoken words, I give in your hands a sacred trust, guard it well. When I listen to Selena running BJ's organization, she's guarding it well. We are guarding it well. We're passing the torch on to the next generation because we're not going to be here forever. And you've got to guard it well, tell the story, deliver the goods, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all.
We're getting close to wrapping things up here, but once again, I'm just reminded about stuff that's happening in the world today, and sometimes we think that we're the underdog in what's happening. And remember Elon Musk. He's one of us. You do realize that he's one of us. His great-grandmother, the first chiropractor in Canada. His grandfather's a chiropractor. His uncle's out practicing out in California. And what's he say when he bought Twitter? We're going to have freedom of speech again. And that's the thing that's been shutting people down. You don't have the right to speak. So what I'm talking about is things are going our way. They're going our way. And we are unstoppable. Now, everybody got a ticket when they came in. And I don't mean a traffic ticket. Now, did everybody sign the paper on the sign-in sheet or mark their name that they were here? Make sure you did that. We have here, who's got the hat anyway?
It's coming up.
This is compliments of Dr. B.J. Harmon as a gift.
We got a number caller.
Okay, we got one?
Yeah, he's going to call the number.
Okay, you pull it out, you let us know what it is, and the first prize.
Okay, pick one. Nice and loud.
And you get the phrase.
He's got two
Oh,
tickets.
that's two. Throw that one back. Poor choice.
Okay,
Loud and proud. What's the number?
9, 8, 6, 2, 8, 5.
did everybody hear that?
It's
Yeah,
probably
zero.
086285.
Let's go one more time.
285.
Yep, 08628.
Back there.
You had one in your office. I gave it to you.
Thank you.
Hey,
You're welcome.
okay.
Good choice.
But just in case, I brought another one without a frame. So
Okay.
pull another one.
Okay, we got another one going.
Go to Michael's. Frames are cheap.
0, 8, 6, 2, 4, 5.
There we go. Okay,
One more.
we got this.
Like during the game of, was it Black Santa, or what was that game called? Where you trade gifts?
0, 8, 6, 2, 6, 1.
Oh, that's me.
There we go.
Good? Oh. Wait, there's more.
This is a book, Kid Cairo. This is about BJ, early part of his life. Good stories in there, such as when he was in the 8th grade, he brought some kind of rat to school, got expelled. That was the end of his career in school. But the teacher that expelled him later came to Palmer and studied under BJ to become a chiropractor.
Wow.
And they'll tell the stories how he lived on the streets, in the brothels, when he was a teenager, how it was like living with 5 different mothers and stuff, how he got his spine broken by being beaten by one of the women, stuff, all kinds of stuff like this. So anyways, the Kid Cairo.
8, 0, 6, 2, 3, 1.
There we go. Now, this is the spiritual writings of B.J. Palmer. It's excerpts out of all his different books, all the little spiritual things that he had to say. And it's pretty profound. So, one more. This is it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
0, 8, 6, 2, 6, 0.
That's you.
Hey! What's that?
Draw again for the other poster. She's not a DC student.
Okay, one more.
One more time on the poster.
Zero, 8, 6, 1, 9, 9.
One more again. Say it one more again.
Okay.
Oh, that is me. Thank you, man.
There you go, brother.
Thank y'all. Bless. Thank you, Doc.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that's it there. Okay,
You thought it was 661 instead of 199.
Same thing too.
what's the lasting purpose? Okay. Give me the lasting purpose. Who wants to shout it out, please?
Alex? Seems like you might
To love, to serve out of one's own abundance.
Okay,
No expectation of anything in return.
okay.
Come on, Kyle.
I got most of it. No, not most of it. I keep on college. I'm half Moscow.
That's philosophy. You need to refresh that.
I study a lot of Moscow.
Okay, to love, serve, give, do out of abundance, that's what you do when you find out what the lasting purpose is. That's how you convey it. But what is the lasting purpose? The whole definition. It's to lead an inner-directed life through love, serving, giving, doing out of your own abundance. And the reason I'm bringing this out is Dr. Sid, in his latter years, he said, we got this all the way down. Lasting purpose is to do the will of God. And we seem to keep forgetting that part of it when we say lasting purpose. It's all about doing the will of God, to love, serve, giving, and doing. That's your technique. But it's the will of God. BJ said in the bigness of the fellow within, that's something. This is the most important thing you can do, is to awaken to that something within you and let it become the guiding force of your life. That's the most important thing you can do. Not tell the chiropractic story, not do it. The most important thing is to listen from within yourself that we voiced. And BJ said in 1958, he said, I lived a very dogmatic life, and I was telling everybody what they should be doing. He said, what I finally come to a realization is the most important thing a person can do is to listen to their innate. And what is innate? And BJ talks about it. One of the books is on BJ is that Christ within, the innate, the divinity within, that part and parcel universal intelligence that exists within all of us. You know, the major premise that we were talking about. And so this is what we're all about. And in fact, if you were listening to anything of a dialogue to Elon Musk, they were asking him different questions, what he believed, and he says, I believe in the spiritual forces of the universe. That's what he believes. He thinks like we think. So, anyways, I need to get 2 chairs cleaned off here a minute, please. That's good, okay. I need one. I just need one.
You're gonna break these like karate. Oh, I said actually what's gonna happen. Kill it.
See, now what is this? What's it made mostly of? Space. Something that exists like between your 2 ears. Space. But we give substance to it, don't we? Do you know you have 2 brains? Here and here. They're both same nerve pathways, same neurology, everything. Brain here. What's this here? innate, educated. What's here? Your connection to the universe. That innate. Are we connected? When let's say a group of women, when they live together, what happens to moon time? Eventually they all have moon time together, right? Because they stay connected. There's an energy there. When a mother brings her child to her breast, she'll get in sync. The heartbeats will get in sync with each other. There's connection. When Sharon was talking about that something, what is this something that people want? What is this thing that you give and connect with when a patient? You don't move bones. See, I don't care what technique you use. They all seem to work. It's what you think and believe and behind that does these things. But it's that special something that connects you with each other. So we have a lot of space up here. And we take and we focus and we give our life to that space. We give believability to it. Now, if this is space, and if I had a dream that was down here, what would I be focused on? The dream? If I was focused on the dream down here, what faculties do I have? BJ says the most important thing you got going for you is your intellect. It's very important to be intellect. So if I was to think I was going to go there, I'd recognize, oh, look at, there's a grain here. So I could take it. I recognize that. And I think I would do good coming down to the middle with my eyes open, paying attention to what I'm doing. I think I would want to use here that's a little more protected, something like that. And the reason we talk about doing events like this is because I want to start making a metaphor for what happens when I focus on a dream versus the shit that everybody's throwing at me. Because when everybody starts throwing the stuff at me and I focus on it, all I keep doing is bouncing off of it. I keep hitting myself, hurting myself, hurting myself. And this little thing here says to me, you better pay attention to me. You better pay attention to me. Don't think of the dream. They're going to get you. You know, they'll get you. They'll get you. They're always looking for people like you. Don't go for your dream. Who do you think you are? You're just a miserable little guy. You can't really do it. You were born on the wrong side of the fence. Dude, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Oh, this is my dream. Pay attention to me. Pay attention. This is my dream. Pay attention to me. Pay attention. I don't care. How many people in life pay attention to all the little stories that people give me? Oh, you do this, do this. In the dream, it gets lost somewhere. Do you have a made-up mind? Are you so focused that you're going to go where you want to be? I'm not taking the bullshit anymore. Because that's what this stuff is. Would anybody like to have this as an experience? If you would. Let's hand there. Okay. Now, if we do this, this needs to represent something. Do you have something that you want to go for that's in your dream that you could be down here, that you could focus it? You're willing to commit yourself no matter what, but you're going to get that dream. You're going to grab hold of it. You got something?
Yeah.
Well, when you got it, you get up there and go for it. Yeah! Okay. What did it feel like?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So what was going through your mind before you did this, when you were up here?
I was just really trying to picture myself in my practice which I want to be in my home actually, with the work, the life that I want for myself.
Uh-huh.
And just not letting anything stop me.
Oh, okay. Anybody else like to go for it?
Take your boards as a reminder.
Anybody else? Okay. You get down there and get that feeling where you want to be. This is where you want to end up. No matter what, you're just going down there. You got your eyes open, you're paying attention. You see that there? It's right there, what you want. You're willing to give everything, and you're going right for it. Put your hand down there where you want to be. Get the feel. Put this hand down there. That's where. Get the feeling. This is it. This is it. I'm going there. I'm going there.
You can do it.
So tell everybody how you felt when you did that.
Painful.
Were you surprised?
Kinda.
Kinda? Or did you know you were going to do it?
I knew that I was gonna do it.
Oh, okay. So I was at a meeting. We had 1,000 people at the meeting. I had this little metaphor going on. And I said, who would like to try it? Now we got 1,000 people. And this little girl gets up, same size. I said, oh no, it's just like, we're going to start this thing out. And we got little girls going to go up there. And she goes like this. Sat down. You measure me by my size? Yoda. Because I think this is a good demonstration, because a lot of people think, well, I can't do it, I'm a female. I can't do it, I'm small. And then we have all these different things going on in our mind that we limit it, because that's stuff that's in the board. We said, who do you think you are? Anybody else like to go for it? Sure. Now, this has got to represent something to yourself.
Yeah.
You got to feel it right down, something that you got passion for, that you're really going to go for this thing. Yes. So what are you feeling?
If I can just help one person, then everything's worth it.
Oh, okay. I remember years ago someone says, I don't break boards. I don't either. I'm a dreamer. I go for dreams. I like to be able to use a metaphor as I don't take the nonsense of the world. My dream is too important. Anybody else would like to go for it? Okay. Now, at this particular point, we do an inner winter seminar. Inner winter seminar is all based on the bigness of the fellow within. That's something, awakening, that's something within yourself. It's a 4-day workshop. We do it here in Dahlonega. We've been doing it for the last 30-some years throughout the United States, Europe, and Australia. We started the Chiropractic College Barcelona. They started because they all came to the Inner Winters programs, built enough enthusiasm, energies that they wanted to do it, and they did it. We did the same thing in Australia, and that's where the Australian Chiropractic College got its birth from. And so anyways, we'll be holding another one coming up in, I think it's July 30th here at Dahlonega. And it's a select group of people that come, and it's over half filled already. And so I'd like somebody that's been to Inner Winters to come up here a minute. 2 or 3 people that's been to Inner Winters, come up here. Kyle, you're volunteering, I know. Many Kyle's volunteering. And what I want you to do is...
We're literally all here.
Okay. Let's take turns and share your experience and why you think it would benefit.
I have all the power now.
You do?
Okay, cool. Who's on?
You have it.
Hey guys, my name's Kyle.
With an H.
With an H, yes. Khyle. Don't ask me why. I went to Interwinters for my first time this past session. I was going through a lot of family stuff, a lot of just wasn't strong in who I was. And going through the program gave me a lot of enlightenment and a lot of strategy of how to live my life and how to better myself, and the assets of being a person and just being in this profession. To the point that I'm now the actual recruiter for this upcoming session. So there are a lot of capable people to answer questions. If you want to come, please come talk to me. Anyone here has my number, and anyone's more than welcome to have it. Yeah, you do. In that case, Pierce, come here. You can have the mic, then the number. Yeah. Run the mouth, get the mic. Runneth thy mouth.
All right,
You got
man.
it, Pac-Man.
Thank you. Thank you, fam. All right, they messed up. They gave me the mic. That's a mistake. All right.
Just think that you're brave.
Think that. I ain't gonna cry. Don't do that to me. I'm a thug. I love you.
I just in kindergarten and I'm 6 and
I appreciate you, love. Oh, I love that type of energy. So, throughout my life, I was always told I had to be perfect. There was always pressure on me. Everybody's watching me. So, going through the program, and I thought, when I was 22, I hit the program, I thought I was everything. No one in my family hit this level. I thought I was doing it. But then also the pressure of, no one in my family did this yet. I was panicking. Sitting, and you can imagine me in biochemistry, freaking out over not knowing the limiting step. Oh my God, oh my God. If I fail, everybody in my family is gonna fail. What am I doing? What Interwinters did for me, really, it let me bring back the joy in my life. Wow. It let me realize I'm here to have fun and have fun while doing it. I want to bring light to life, people. I want to let people know it's okay, because when I tell you, I've been through a whole lot of bad days. I've seen people that just wanted to give up in life. I wanted to give up in life, even through this program. I was like, you know what? I gave it a good run. My ticket's here. But I can say, these people I got to meet at Interwinters, and honestly, I'm a two-time Interwinter person. Yeah. Two-time. And when they say you learn something different every time you go, oh my God, it's so valid. I thought I learned everything the first time. I'm good. We ride it. Nah, it was actually the perfect moment, because I was in outpatient, thinking like, my doc asked, "Why are you outside? Why are you outside? Why are you outside?" The patient actually inside. In that moment, I'm thinking like, yo, man, I'm about to graduate in a year. I got to get my life together. There's more choices I got to make. Oh God, everybody's dependent on me. I'm thinking about my family that wants me to hurry up and graduate, go see them, everything. And I was like, man, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I wasn't meant to make it this far. I should be just happy I'm here. When I tell you I went there, I was quiet at first. But then they let me start talking like y'all did now. Once again, y'all made this choice. So when I tell you, every day in life, man, I love being here. I loved it so much. I take so much joy, hopefully being that one person that can change somebody's whole lifetime. I tell you, you don't know who in life walking down the street that, hey, they might be down bad. They might have just got a notice from the IRS, NBC, that you haven't paid your bill yet. You don't like them people. But when I tell you that's my purpose, I want to bring happiness. I want to let people know life is worth living. The whole purpose of us being here, life is worth living. And this is someone my family owns a funeral home back home, so I'm trying to go the opposite way, you know? So when I tell you, like, and to be honest, since I mentioned that, I made this mistake. I'm going to ride with it. My grandfather, who started the business, I used to wonder why he's always happy and why he's always so nice and kind to people. When I was a kid, I asked him, why You deal with death. Why are you not sad? Every day you see somebody crying. You see where people only lived a minute in this world, 100 years in this world, everything. You deal with all. And sometimes people don't want to pay you for it, all that. How are you not upset? This man said the one coolest thing. He said, I'm too old to worry, and I'm too young to be upset. He loved life. That man lived to be 94 years old. When he was 80, that man was dive bombing a hill on a scooter. No issues. I was terrified. I was like, you crazy. But that man lived life. And of all the pressure I did have once, I don't have that no more. I don't have it no more because I know I'm here to do what I'm meant to do. I know I'm helping millions. I already know that. That's my mission. I'm here to help millions.
Hello. So I went to Inner Winners this past time, and that was my first time going. Like Dr. Bruce said, that when you get to know the chooser, your life gets so much easier. My life has been a breeze since I went through my last Inner Winners. I've learned a lot about myself that I was like, you know, I live with myself every day. How do I not know myself? It's a lot harder than what you might think. I learned so much about myself that has made every choice that I make every day, every choice that when I wake up in the morning, what's my purpose for that day? What's the purpose? How am I going to impact these people's lives around me, even when I'm just going to school every day? And it has brought so much purpose to absolutely everything I do and the people around me, and I've realized a lot of the things shifting around me for the good. And it was a great experience, and I'm going again in July, so very excited.
Okay, so I went to my first Inner Winners, the past one as well, and I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified. I literally showed up, and I went to Renee, and I was like, Renee, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I literally considered leaving. I really didn't know if I could do it. And it was like the smallest things that I noticed that I never thought, like the smallest things that you never thought would impact you, like made the biggest change for me. I was like, oh, this is easy. And I ended up having breakdowns. I was breakthroughs, you know, I was like, whoa. I literally had never thought about the way that that has affected my life and made me who I am, and that's why I'm here, you know? And I can stand here and say, I feel like I know myself more than I've ever known myself in my entire life after going to that program. And there's so much more. There's so much more potential that you have that you don't even realize. And you should do this for yourself, right? Do this for your future patients. Do this for your wife. Do this for your future child. This is not about you. It is about you, but it's not about you. And just standing here, I feel like lightning bolts going through my body. This is how you feel after you go to this program. You just feel like you are innate, you know? That's how you feel. Okay, I'll stop now. But
the past two Inner Winners I've gone to, the first one I went to, I wasn't even a DC student. I didn't want to go. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was signed up for chiropractic school, but I was like, is this really what I want to do, or is it just following the family legacy and what I felt like I had to do? And I was, honestly, I'd gotten in a fight with my parents the week before, and I'd been like, I'm like, all right, no, I'm not going, I'm not doing it, you want me to go to this thing, I'm not going to, and my mom just looked at me and goes, well, you don't have an option. Yeah, and as mothers do. And so I get there, and I'm just angry, and I'm just like, you know what, fine, I'm not going to get anything out of this weekend, I'm just going to go home and be the same person. And so, So I'm sitting here in the first. I'll paint a picture for you. I'm sitting here. Here's me in the first ever little breakout thing we're doing, and we finish the end of it. And I look around and I go, oh, "That plan ain't gonna work out." And so I just said, "Screw it," and I embraced it. And by the second day, I had my hair down. I was walking around. I was freer. I was, literally, figuratively, mentally. And I was just like, all right, what am I here for? What do I want to do? And it was through that weekend that I was like, all right, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. I do want to be a chiropractor. I do want to help people. And through that weekend, it was life altering for me because I'm literally shaking right now because just thinking about it, because it was just, it literally helped me decide the trajectory of my life and know that the direction I'm going is right. And then the second one rolls, and so as soon as I'm done with that one, the second one rolls around, and my parents' favorite saying is, if you saw in yourself what everybody else sees in you, you'd change the world. And so eventually, I'm going through the program. I think we were in second quarter. Was it second quarter the first one? Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Wait, what?
When was the second?
The second one was second quarter.
Yeah. So we were in second quarter for the second one, and I would just. I'm sorry, I don't even know where I'm at right now, honestly. But so I was going through it, and I was kind of bogged down. I was like, all right, the classes are getting to me, biochem's getting to me, musculoskeletal's getting to me, everything's getting to me. I don't know if I'm meant to be here. I'm kind of burning out. I don't know what to do. And I go to that weekend in the middle of the quarter, and I'm just like, and I just sit down, and I'm just like, all right, calm down. Anchor back to what you want to do, anchor back to who you are, and go out there and change the world. And that's what that weekend helped me do, is just anchor. First of all, figure out, yes, this is the direction I want to go. And then the second time I came around, it was like, all right, yeah, you're gonna anchor back down in this, and you're gonna stick to it. All right, and that's what it did. Thank you.
Are there any first quarter people here?
For the sake of expediency, I want to get.
Yeah, I'm going to do fat, quick, and short. I got you.
We want to get, because you all want to eat some pizza too when we get finished shooting.
Okay.
Let's give it the punch.
Okay. I just want to say, I don't know why everyone hates biochem. Biochem's awesome. And if you need biochem pals, Fridays from 11 to 1, I am your biochem pal.
Nice plug right there.
Yeah, thank you. But so when I went to this Interwinters, I kind of didn't know. I didn't know if what I was gonna get out of it at all. But by the end of it, it's really hard to describe. It's got a lot out of it, and I feel like I'm a completely different person from the beginning to the end. I'm trying to go fast, don't cry. But if you think you can't get anything out of it, you'll get a ton.
Hi, I'm Ada. If anybody knows me, I would not be standing up here before Interwinters. And now I'm standing up here talking to all of you. I think the biggest thing that I got out of Interwinters is I found how to connect to my innate, and I found out how to live my life. Life is not happening to me. You make your life. You make it what you want. So do that.
Hey everyone. My name's Kit. You ready? Yeah, I guess we're doing a joint one. I'm Casey.
I'm Caitlin.
It was a real struggle to get Caitlin up here. What?
Yeah, you can say it's all you.
Okay.
This is
What
Jordan.
did you want to say? She says I'm Caitlin. All right, so put it shortly, I don't know if any of you guys are like me at all, but I felt like I got just weighed down by life itself. Like I was taking this shit way too seriously. And it really felt like crushing down my neck sometimes. It was hard to breathe. And so one of the biggest things I got out of it was just to have some fun. Yes. Like before I'd be running to class to get out of the rain, and now I'll just be like, it's raining, I love this. And I'll stand out there on the bridge and watch the water because I just think it's the most amazing thing ever now. that was one of the biggest things for me. Is just like, just take a breath and enjoy life, because it's just not that serious. So just enjoy it. But
I agree.
What?
For me, I'm like someone that doesn't really like to be stagnant, and I found myself being really stagnant. And I had always been like, sort of like, not nagged, but like pushed into going to this program, and I like was always like hesitant. And I was like, I don't want to be stagnant anymore. I'll see what I can get out of it. And even if you're like a bit interested, I would do it. Like you definitely get a lot out of it, and it's worth every penny.
I have to speak. Wow, I see how she did that there. Oh, wow. Thank you. Have a nice day. No. So this past Interwinters was my first and not my only. Maybe July? Where's Kyle? So I guess for me, I think I was, I'm in this transitional period in my life where I graduated the chiropractic program. I started working for Life University, and I'm still working on boards. And we all know, for everyone who's on the boards train, we know how empowering but also how difficult it can be. And for me, I was in a big transitional period in my life, and still am, as we all are. And this opportunity allowed things to kind of slow down, to take pause, to listen. And for me, I'm a big listener, for those who know me. And going inward is something I do often. And this is something that allowed me to kind of step outside of myself. And a lot of it was outside of my comfort zone. And so I think it's an amazing opportunity, but opportunity is what you make of it. So make sure you step into it and go. So thank you.
Kelly, you want in? Okay, I'm a two-timer, right? 3 will come up. Actually, I want to do my third one with him. So that's the thing. The first one I went to, I came back with a sense of self-worth again, which running through the rigor of this program, you can lose sight of that. Being a mom, you can lose sight of that. Post-divorce, you can lose sight of that. Life can make you lose sight of yourself, and it's hard to keep your eye on your why and your purpose when you can't even look yourself in the mirror. So my first Interwinter built up the courage to look in the mirror, right? And then I was worried the second one on who I would see. But it taught me about being my own accountability partner. Loving, and it's okay. It's a corn. It'll be fine. The corn's in my pocket and it's being squished. So my next one, hey, let's bring it. I have no idea what I'm gonna get out of it. Each time is different.
I'm just so proud of everyone up here. I'll hold this. It's for the camera. Is it better? Oh, is it good? Okay. Okay, got it. I am just so proud of everyone up here. How awesome hearing you all speak again. You go in an awesome person already, and then you come out just an even better family. That's what Interwinters is to me.
Not yet. So that kind of wraps everything up here tonight.